Ask all the devotees, please come, take a seat. We'll have some kata here. This is Devananda Mat, a Gaudiya Mat, branch of, actually this is the temple of Keshava Maharaj, who gave Srila Prabhupada sannyas. So, this temple is also known as Aparadbandha Stan. Aparadbandha Stan means the place where we can be forgiven for offenses. Did you ever commit any offenses? Only sometimes, eh? So this is an important place to pray to be forgiven for offenses. Because this temple is known after Devananda Pandit. This is Devananda Mat. Devananda Pandit was the person who was forgiven for his offenses. So Devananda Pandit was running a Bhagavat Kata. He was teaching Srimad Bhagavatam. But he was not actually devotee. He was a scholar. But he was teaching Srimad Bhagavatam. And he had a group of young men who were coming there and who were hearing Bhagavat from him. He was like their guru. So it happened that Srivas Pandit, he came here because he wanted to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. And there was nowhere else to go where he could hear Srimad Bhagavatam. So he thought he would come here to Devananda Pandit, to his ashram, and hear Bhagavad Gita from him. So he came and he sat in the back of the class. There were the group of students who were all the followers of Devananda Pandit. And Srivas came and he sat down and he was hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. But by hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, his ecstasy was aroused, his bhav for Lord Krishna was awakened just by hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam. We know different examples are there, how Pundarik Vijayanidhi, he just heard one sloka of Srimad Bhagavatam. And he erupted, he fell on the ground and rolled on the ground for hours, flooded the floor in tears, just by hearing one verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srivas Pandit, he heard Srimad Bhagavatam, and his bhava was aroused, and he also felt ecstasy, and he was rolling on the ground a bit and making some strange sounds. So the students of Devananda Pandit, they looked at him and they considered this person is a disturbance. He's giving trouble to us. We're trying to hear Srimad Bhagavatam and he's disturbing us. So they picked him up and dragged him out and dumped him on the ground outside. So this was an offense on their part. They were the students of Devananda Pandit. Now Devananda Pandit, he should have stopped them because he was their teacher. But Devananda Pandit didn't do anything. He just let his students mistreat Srivas Pandit. And they dragged him out, they just were very rude to him. They did not understand the transcendental nature of his ecstatic symptoms. And they thought his behavior was just something mundane, was a disturbance to them. So the result of their bad behavior to Srivas Pandit, it came on Devananda Pandit. because Devananda Pandit was their teacher, and he had to take the reactions for the offensive behavior of his students. Just like sometimes people would write to Srila Prabhupada and they would complain. They would say that one of your disciples forced me to purchase a book. I didn't want to purchase a book, but your disciple forced me to give money and purchase one of your books. So Srila Prabhupada would have to write back to them and say, I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry, please forgive the enthusiasm of my disciples. They do not know how to behave properly, but at the same time Srila Prabhupada would preach to the person and explain to them that they have some enthusiasm for spreading Krishna consciousness. Try to understand, they've dedicated their life to this work, and I'm very sorry for the trouble which they gave you. So in this way, Prabhupada was apologizing for the behavior of his disciples. The misbehavior of the devotee comes on the spiritual teacher. So we are all representing Srila Prabhupada. He's the founder Acharya. And it's up to all of us to behave properly. Otherwise, it's a blemish on the character of Srila Prabhupada. That he accepted people of low standards, who are uneducated and who don't behave properly. He's accepted all of them into the Krishna consciousness movement. So Devananda Pandit, he had to suffer for the offensive behavior of his students. So it happened at one point, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met with Devananda Pandit. And Devananda Pandit requested Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please bless me. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looked at Devananda Pandit and sneered and said, I will never bless an offender of pure devotees. I will never give mercy to anyone who is an offender of pure devotees. There's another example, of course, of this, that one time Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was sitting on the altar, the Vishnu temple. He was sitting on the Vishnu temple in the home of Srivas Thakur, and he was giving blessings to all the devotees. So one devotee said, what about Mother Sachi? Give blessings to Mother Sachi. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu looked at the devotees and said, no, I can never give blessings to Mother Sachi. She is an offender of pure devotees. So everyone was shocked to hear, Mother Sachi, your own mother, you won't give blessings to your own mother? And you're telling us she's an offender of pure devotees? So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained that Mother Sachi had committed offense mentally against Advaita Acharya. Because Mother Sachi's first son, her eldest son, Vishwarup, had been going to the home of Advaita Acharya and hearing Shastra from the mouth of Advaita Acharya. So, at some point, it was arranged that Mother Sachi and her husband Jagannath Mishra thought that it's time for our eldest son to get married. And they began to think who would make a suitable wife for their son, Vishwarup. So Vishwarup understood what his parents were thinking, and he decided he didn't want to get married. So he left home, suddenly disappeared, and he never came back again. He left home and he took sannyas. So Mother Sachi, mentally, she considered that my son had been going regularly to the home of Advaita Acharya. And Advaita Acharya must have preached to him about the futility, about the uselessness of a life wasted in family affairs. So Vishwarup decided he didn't want to enter into family life. And Mother Sachi blamed Advaita Acharya for this. Although Mother Sachi had never actually said anything openly, but within her mind she was thinking, Advaita Acharya has influenced my son to leave home and go and take sannyas. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I will not give mercy to Mother Sachi because she has offended pure devotee, Advaita Acharya. So then the devotees immediately arranged to bring Mother Sachi and Advaita Acharya. And of course Advaita Acharya was saying, Mother Sachi offend me? No, not possible. She's the Divine Mother. How could she ever commit any offense against me? So Advaita Acharya was coming, and as they were bringing Advaita Acharya, he became so overwhelmed in love of Krishna, that he fainted, he collapsed on the ground. So at that time they brought Mother Sachi, immediately take the dust from his feet. So Mother Sachi came forward and she took the dust from the feet of Advaita while he was in the unconscious condition. And in this way she became relieved from her offense. So in this way Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was teaching his own mother and all the devotees, all of us, the importance, don't offend the devotees. So Devananda Pandit came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asking for mercy. And Mahaprabhu told him, you are an offender of pure devotees. I will never give you blessing. I will never be merciful to you. So Devananda Pandit was stunned. He did not know immediately what he had done. Anyway, it happened in course of time that another devotee, Bhaktrishvara Pandit, was in this area. And as we heard yesterday in one of the dramas, Bhaktrishvara Pandit, how many hours could he dance? Right, 72 hours non-stop. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was saying, you are like a wing, one of my wings. Maharaj is telling me now is going to be Arti. So after Arti, we can continue the Katha. So anyway, I'll explain here. There's also a deity of Lord Varaha. You see the deity of Lord Varaha Dev. It's because Lord Varaha appeared here in the Satya Yuga. In every age, the Lord appears in Nawadvip. So in Satya Yuga, he appeared here as Lord Varaha. In the Treta Yuga, he came as Lord Ramachandra. In Dwapara Yuga, he came as Lord Krishna. And in the Kali Yuga, he came as who? I don't know. What name is that? Yes, he came as Lord Gauranga here in the Kali Yuga. So in every age, Sambhavami Yuga Yuga, every age the Lord comes. So we will see Lord Varaha, you can have darshan of Lord Varaha. Maharaj, what time is the Arti?
Pura Arti now, and then right after that is Chaturthi. Right now.
Right now. इन्हों जाती है।
Hare Krishna.